working with a professional videographer team to go ahead and actually record our first RHINO commercial. And it's getting closer, right? So the first version that I showed everyone last week was 2 minutes and 8 seconds. The version I'm going to show you today, which is hot off the presses, is 1 minute and 47 seconds. There are a couple of edits that are obvious to me, including at the end, you're going to see them flicker, and the words that go along with the pictures flickering is in one voice, and it's actually complete by the halfway through the flickering. And in that flicker, that's kind of the ramp up time. You want to get people's blood pressure, not blood pressure. You want to get their blood going, moving, blah, 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 boom, call to action. And I think that's the opportunity that moment has, but it misses that mark. So that will be the next edit. And there'll be a 30-second version of this for commercial for TV. And there'll be approximately a 90-second version, which will be more for like VSL pages. And we're going to share with everyone. Everyone's going to have access to this. So that's what that's going to be for. So without further ado, we'll show you the 1 minute and 47 second version, which is still has some edits to be done. But in terms of 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, this is 2.0. So I'm going to share screen. And let's see what we got.
Here on RHINO Street, we know you're a superhero.
You're teleporting every morning. You're in bed.
You're in yoga. You're waking your kids.
Now you're showering.
You are now transforming.
You're dressing your kids.
You're making breakfast.
You're making lunch.
You're kissing them goodbye.
You are waving, I love you.
You're invincible every day. Your traffic can't slow you. Your coworkers can't stop you.
Your boss can't lose you.
Your lunch only pauses you. Your role morphs on you.
Your schedule plays tricks on you.
Your workday doesn't exhaust you.
You see your future every night.
Your children are outside playing.
Your wife inside singing.
Your family together eating.
Your heart is present.
Your mind is years ahead.
Your idea will be a huge success. Our future can be now.
It begins with protecting our communities, like the superhero you already are.
Wall Street companies and all our search engines. Other Wall Street companies pay trillions for our search results.
Wall Street companies are bankrupting our main streets by redirecting our sales from our neighbors to their investors.
Wall Street companies give money to our politicians.
When they own our sales and our mayor, then they will own our community.
Superheroes search their community.
Superheroes buy from their community.
Superheroes rescue their community.
Superheroes rebuild their community.
Superheroes are their community. RhinoStreet.com. 20-mile radius. Search your community first.
Gives me a chill every time I watch it. So there's still some work that needs to be done on that, but it's getting closer to what it's going to look like. And as we watch it more and more, you can see the different opportunity for it. So I'm going to go ahead and share the link. And I don't think I'm supposed to do this, but who's going to tell me I can't, right? So that's the link. You're welcome to watch it as many times as you want. And as always, we not only welcome you to, but we really try to nudge you to share some advice with us. So email me, tell me, hey, I like this could change, we could do this. Because again, it's not even like trivial. It's not that I say it in terms of patronization of anybody. Oh, you know what, give me your opinion and I'll include it. No, our community from day one has been an outreach to various age, just various everything. And because a lot of our community was simply just through some kind of cold emailing that I'm never going to share the secret sauce on, well, I shared it in Persuasion for those that were part of that. But the point being, the people that we emailed had nothing to do with demographic or anything. It was simply just in terms of availability. So it's so diverse because we never, the in pursuit of having emails to email, the variables were, when did it become available? That's all we ever knew. Therefore, everyone we've ever emailed, I don't know their country, I don't know their age, I don't know I don't know anything. I just know that in doing so, it allowed us to come up with a message that we believe resonated with any human being. And when we saw who clicked what and who wrote back, hey, go F your mother, we don't want this email anymore, or hey, listen, I don't like this email, or hey, listen, you should do this, we always applied everything. Meaning we are now at a point through our growth from zero to hero that our platform truly represents everyone equally. And in doing so, when I go ahead and offer out a link such as that and say, please share some advice with us, it's because you are representative of the sample size that makes RHINO. You are representative of the sample size that makes the globe. Therefore, your advice is actually valuable. And we are thanking you for it, because the DNA of RHINO is the fact that we're never going to charge you for anything. We believe that you hold so much value, and it's not that we believe it by, hey, you know, you're special. No, that's not like your parent that's patting you in the bum saying, oh, you could be anything you want to be, you're special, your voice sounds great, your farts smell like roses. No, I have no idea, but I know your value, and your value as a group, the value of population is a real value. If Walmart lost all of their customers tomorrow, it does not matter how much they have on the shelves. It does not matter how many bricks they have. It does not matter how many executives they have. They will be bankrupt and they will be worth less than zero. It does not matter about how many votes any politician ever got. If he never gets a vote again, he will never be voted into office again. In fact, your neighbor who nobody knows, your community could say, hey guys, listen, we really don't like the mayor. Let's vote Mary Jane. She's really nice and she's willing to take one for the team. All right, everyone vote Mary Jane. Mary Jane's now mayor. How did that happen? Because the value of population changes things. And from the top down, it's actually quite sickening, right? So there was a study on Amazon, I think it was 7 years ago. Now, Amazon is a company that's very susceptible, very sensitive to unionization, right? If all of their employees unionize, what would Amazon do? Without their employees, they're nothing. Their employees work in all the different distribution shops. So they need their employees just long enough until they go ahead and replace them with robots, which we all know is going to happen, but that's how little they think of their employees. But to go ahead and make sure that the employees never unionize, you know, when companies talk about diversity training, it has nothing to do with uplifting minorities. It has zero to do with that. When you have a population that is all from the same place, they have natural bonds with each other. When you have a population that's so well diverse, they look to bonds with those that are like them, in which means they go ahead and bond in little groups. So for groups to then bond with each other, it's a higher degree of difficulty. Not that it's impossible, not that they shouldn't, right? Everything, like if you take a bunch of kids and put them in a school, they're all friends, right? So this has nothing to do with race. It has to do with what companies do. So if you put a bunch of kids in class and make half of them one and half the other, those halves will split. But if you make them all equally everything else, they all bond. Because when you have, but as adults, it's different. When you go ahead and have different groups, you've all grown up with different lives. Therefore, when you enter a corporate scene or any type of work scene, you then look for those that are like you. So it was a report out of Amazon that the diversity training was not actually for diversity. It was to go ahead and make sure that the workforce never gathered in such large numbers to vote for unionization, right? So from the top down, the top has always gone ahead and perverted any message of, hey, we're with you, for, hey, how do we disempower you, if that's even a word? How do we go ahead and make sure that you never collect the power? And what RHINO essentially is doing is saying, hey, listen, we understand your view of the world. We believe that you're brainwashed. And that's really aggressive. So please don't take it that way. Because if the population knew that by them simply gathering and saying, hey, listen, we don't like this, let's stop this, that thing would stop, right? So RHINO essentially is able to say, okay, you know what, let's forget them because the top 1% has how much? The bottom 99% is left with the rest. And I know we don't like saying bottom. So the rest of us, the 99% are left with the rest. How do we go ahead and earn some of the money, some of the value that would equally represent our population? And in doing so, what the largest companies always have to do is they have to worry about customers, they have to worry about voters, they have to worry about all of that stuff. Therefore, their lifeblood is customers. So when companies, like when the top 1% have companies that are so large, exactly, when the top 1% have companies that are so large, they have a store here, they have a store here, they have a store here, they have stores everywhere. Those store growth are completely dependent on the customer flow. So for instance, if a company opens up a new store and there's no customers, what happens? The store then gets sold off, it goes bankrupt, it goes to auction. But what happens every time a large company puts a store and they have customers? Those customers are being siphoned from the actual communities, from the actual main streets. In doing so, it goes ahead and, excuse me, it goes ahead and effectively and actually in real time lowers the opportunity for anyone in that community. Because as a community, you have your neighbors, you have your neighborhood, you have your streets, you have your 20 miles, right? So when you go ahead and think about making a business, and that business is to go ahead and service a community while also allowing you to be a business owner, to make your own hours, to be a pillar of the community, to pass something down to your future generations, to go ahead and be in business for yourself, to hire other community members to go ahead and build and grow and, you know, thrive together. That's your goal. So you take a look around and you look at the 20 miles and you're like, okay, cool. We could really use a grocery store. Do people like to eat? Sure. We could really use a bicycle shop. It'd be nice to go ahead and ride our bikes to the mountains, right? Or go to the stream. Oh, I see a lot of people here are fit. Maybe I'll make a boxing shop, right? Like I'll have people that come in and box. All of these things. Well, every community has a population. All population operates in commerce. We do not barter anymore. We're not cavemen. I do not say, hey, I got rock, you got shirt, hoo, right? Like that doesn't happen anymore. So what happens is, okay, at the most foundational level, a community is an opportunity for business owners and I want to pause for a second because people think that being a business owner is all it's cracked up to be. I can promise you, any good business owner will tell you the same thing. They are the hardest working person in their organization, and they are not the boss of their business. Their customers are their bosses. That goes for any business owner that is a good one. People say, oh, Ant, well, you own RHINO, you must be living the life. I live my dream. I fight and claw for it every single day. I work 24 hours a day, every single day to continue living the life that allows me to live my dream. But my dream is out there, it's in front of us. Who are my bosses? Every one of our RHINO members, everyone in our community. What does it take me to get from here to there? I have to grow to this, I have to hire this, I have to move this person to that person, I have to take on that software, I have to integrate it, I have to make sure the money's there, I have to earn money over here. But I love it because I know what we're going to do. But when I say, you know, someone becomes a business owner, it's not giving someone something. It's not like, hey, you want to go ahead and run a business? Yeah, great, it's here. And you're like, oh, great, I'm a business. No, it takes a lot to keep that business going, right? So when you have the community, they are already pre-framed to go ahead and consider you. They're your friends. They know you. Right? Like if your neighbor, little Susie Q, went ahead and opened up a lemonade stand, you'd be like, oh, I like her. She's such a little cute little girl and my neighbor's daughter and she works hard at school. I can't wait to have someone for a lemonade, right? You give her the 10 cents or whatever it costs today in Biden's economy. And you go ahead and give her the $100 for the cup of lemonade. And you say, oh, this is not really good, but I like her and I appreciate what she's doing. Now Susie Q gets older and she says, oh, people love my lemonade so much, and she makes a lemonade company, like a lemonade business. She owns a storefront and she sells lemonade. Do you know how many people will go to that storefront and continue buying lemonade because they like her and they support her? And of course, during that time, she would have changed the lemonade recipe and would have made a strawberry one and this one and that one. Maybe that's something that town's known for the best lemonade because that person has passed it down to their children, to their children, to their children, and their great-great-grandmother built that company outside her house at 10 years old, and everyone comes to this community for that lemonade stand. Do you know that will never happen in your community ever again? That is gone. The way the system's set up. In fact, the way the system's set up, little Susie Q would probably need permits to do that. She'd probably have to pay taxes on that 10 cents per lemonade. In fact, she might get audited. In fact, Starbucks might say, oh, you know what, we're gonna make a lemonade over here. We're even gonna call it Susie Q's lemonade. Like, there's so many different things because outside money comes in. In fact, if lemonade's so popular in that town, maybe Target will have their own lemonade, right? Like, there's other things that would happen before she ever got to do that. Because the people in that town would go to their home and go to their search engine and type in lemonade, right? Susie Q's lemonade stand. Now, hopefully Susie Q made a website, but even if she did, do you think Google or Bing or anything is going to give you Susie Q's page for lemonade? No, no, no. They're gonna have Mott's apple juice and lemonade. They're gonna have this, they're gonna have that. Get the best lemonade, the new lemonade refresher at Starbucks. Blah, 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 blah. Maybe when you get to the third page, you might find Susie Q, right? Like maybe, I don't know. And in doing so, all the people that were inspired to have lemonade on a nice summer day that cannot find Susie Q's lemonade and what time her operations are and what new flavor she has, they're driving and they're like, let's just, oh, Starbucks, new lemonade refresher. Because Starbucks goes ahead and collects that data. They pay Google for all the data in that town. What are people saying? What are they searching for? How can we go ahead and make more money on it? The point being, what the population does not know, what they've never realized, is that search engines are kind of like your shackles. In fact, I've never said that before, but you handcuff yourself. You enslave yourself because you don't think you're valuable. You think you're valueless. You think you're only one person and one person cannot make a difference. And here's the problem with that. You're right. One person cannot make a difference. Or can they, right? It takes a very special person. Steve Jobs, Einstein, MLK, right? There's a list. But one person, yeah, no, definitely. So one person does not make a difference in searching, right? You're not going to change anything. But what if your whole community search something, right? Like, can that make a difference? Can a group of people doing search make a difference? I think so. Because here's the thing, right? So your one search isn't worth much, right? Okay, you search this, you search that. But every time you search something, it's a potential sale, right? So when you have a thought in your head and you're like, oh, I really want lemonade. Okay, cool, let me go search it. That search result goes to vendors that sell lemonade. Each one of those people are taking a piece of your energy. So even as you scroll down the page, you're like, okay, this person is giving me an ad for lemonade. This person's giving me an ad. This person's giving, which means every time you go down the page, there are other options that are presenting themselves as better to you. So every time you go ahead and you search, there's a percent of those outcomes, right? I want to buy lemonade. I'm searching lemonade. I'm looking for Susie Q's lemonade. I have to scroll through 30 search results to get to Susie Q's lemonade. What percentage of people are going to purchase from one of those 30 results? The point being a large percentage. And let's say it's even only 10%. That's 10% of searches that have been purchased by larger companies. Those searches then go to them because you click them or you buy from them, and those sales go to them. Meaning searches equal sales, right? Are we with each other so far? Great. What do businesses and companies live on? What keeps them in business? What allows them to grow? What allows them to make new products and make new profits and hire new people and build out new storefronts? Sales. So wait, if search is equal sales and sales equals investment, right? Because when sales go to companies, they take that money and they invest in staff, they invest in growth, they invest in R&D. Well, I took math, right? So I know if 2 equals 1 plus 1, then it also must equal 2 to the first power, right? The point being, if search equals sales and sales equals investment, search equals investment. Meaning every time anyone ever searches, you're investing in the outcome. You're investing in the lander. You're investing in where you click, but you don't know it's investing. It's kind of like what casinos do. They bring you into the casino. Do you think when you go to a casino and you get chips, there's 1,000 reasons for it, right? It's for your hygienics. It's easy to hold. You can put it in your pocket. You can easily count. When you get drunk, you won't lose it. Other people can see if they take it. It's yours. We go ahead and change the chips. No. It's the same reason you don't have a clock. Why don't you have a clock? Oh, it's clunky. It's extra stuff. People don't want to look at clocks. Okay. Well, it's also why you have oxygen pumping into the place. Yeah, well, people like oxygen. They breathe. They like oxygen. No, it's all designed to allow the person to not know they're playing with real money. It's all designed that they don't know how long they've been there. And it's all designed that you keep them awake as long as possible, because if you keep them awake as long as possible and they don't know that they're dealing with real money and you constantly give them drinks and they don't know the time, they're going to continue. And the odds are always in favor of the house. Therefore, do you think those casinos were built because people win? No, they are built because suckers lose. That's exactly how search engine is built. You walk into the search engine's for profit, and every time you search, they direct your searches to their paying customers, which means you're the product, which means the searches that you are sending to the paying customers is you investing in outside your community, because your community is not large enough to have businesses large enough to invest financial resources to companies like Google and Yahoo and Facebook to compete with the people that are their paying customers like Nike and Royal Caribbean, et cetera, et cetera. Meaning the currency that people have, your value in the world of commerce, right, digital, is your searches. Your searches are so valuable, which means you have a choice, right? Here we go, choice time. If you were asked, and I will ask you right now, would you prefer to invest in Wall Street companies or your own mainstream businesses? What's your answer? And I honestly think 10 out of 10 times the answer is mainstream businesses. Who wouldn't want to invest in their own mainstream? Who would not want to invest in companies owned, I keep saying companies, businesses owned by their neighbors, by their friends, by people they went to school with, investing in the children that are just becoming employed or starting something new, investing in the parents that they went to school with, that their kids play on the same soccer team, investing in the city councilmen and the mayors, not because they're running ads all over that are financed by Wall Street people behind them that's going to push their agenda, but because they went ahead and they go shop to shop to shop, and they've been shopping at these places, and they had a business that you know of, and their kids were with you. Why don't you want that world? And people always say, Ant, I get what you're saying, but like that world is gone. It doesn't exist. It's too far away. People are moving forward. Technology, you can't do anything about it. I've always agreed with that, because I do think there are things that you just get past the point, right? Like you got past the point of no return. But what are we talking about here? Everything that we're talking about in terms of what we would like and what we're stuck with has a line. There is a, like, from what you want is point A, from what you're left with is point C, there is a point B. The point B is search engines, because if we're agreeing search equals sales equals investment, And we're agreeing that of our own freedom and our own volition, no one holds a gun to our head and says you have to search a search engine. So if we have the freedom to search wherever we want, and we understand search equals sales equals investment, and we all agree that we would rather invest in our Main Street businesses than invest in Wall Street companies, let's do this calculation together. So I could choose where I invest. I own where I invest. And my investment is simply as a function of where I search. You see, so why don't I search somewhere else, right? Well, where would you search? There's nowhere to search. Google, owned by Wall Street. And when I say owned by Wall Street, I mean, you could go and look up the stock for Google. It's GOOG. That's the ticker. And you could buy a share and you could be an owner of Google too, through Wall Street. Yahoo, well, I think they were bought by Microsoft, right? So Yahoo is no longer a stock, but they're owned by a Wall Street company. Bing, they're owned by Microsoft, a Wall Street company. What other ones are there? MSN, they're owned by Comcast, another Wall Street company. All of these search engines are owned by Wall Street companies. Therefore, when you go ahead and you say, I'm going to go search a Wall Street search, well, you don't say that. I'm going to go search Google and type in local business and my zip code. So what you're telling me is that you're going to search a for-profit Wall Street owns company and trust that the results they give you are for the Main Street businesses that don't pay them over their paying customers that do pay them to be those results that you get. And that makes sense to you, right? So everything that we're speaking about now is the confluence of thoughts and confluence of events that actually equal RHINO Street. Now, what's RHINO Street? RHINO Street is our solution, because if we go ahead and stay with the calculus and we are able to identify that the change in the world is point B, just simply the search engine used, then we need to go ahead and invent an alternative for the first time that allows communities to actually have the freedom of choice again. We're not telling people you have to search on RHINO Street. We're simply saying, if you would like to go ahead and search a Wall Street company, go on a Wall Street search engine. If you'd like to search a Main Street business, search your community first, search RHINO Street, right? It's that easy. And honestly, if I may say something, I think that everyone's morally obligated to go ahead and take a look at their community first. I think it's a tale as old as time. From prehistoric, it's innate, it's instinctual, that from cavemen, you always take care of your community first. I don't think anyone would like to live in communities ravished by poverty and crime because they have no income. I think it's in everyone's self-interest to build a thriving Main Street, to invest in a thriving Main Street. And if it means paying an extra 30 cents for a t-shirt because it's from a business on your Main Street, rather than it being drop shipped from China, I think you actually are obligated to do that, morally, not physically. This is America. So what's RHINO Street actually do? So RHINO Street is now fully coded and has been launched. Now the challenge with RHINO Street is populating it, and we are working on that, and I'm going to go ahead and outline how we're doing that. But what RHINO Street actually is, it's a localized search engine that searches within a 20-mile radius of the user. Excuse me. That 20-mile radius disqualifies any Wall Street company, and the results are only those within 20 miles that have opted in. Now you can opt in a couple of different ways. One, I'm a business owner, this is my business, I'd like to be on. They would submit a form, in which case we go ahead, review the form, and approve it, in which case they're part of RHINO Street. Their search results on RHINO Street. Or a person can go ahead and search something, see that it's not the result, and say, oh gosh, golly gee, pizza, I'm looking for a pizza place on RHINO Street. I know we have a pizza place in town, but I can't find them on RHINO Street. Therefore, that person can then go recommend that we add that destination, that business to RHINO Street. So that person could say, hi, and fill out the form. Mike Jones, Superior Pizza, 07701 is the zip code. This is his website. This is his phone number, the phone number to the business. This is the email to the business. I recommended it. My name's Anthony. Submit. In which case, once RHINO receives that submission, we take a look at it. We say, oh, great. Let's go ahead and hold on, Brian, 1 second. Great. Let's go ahead and well, actually, Brian, write the question. I'll get to it as it comes in. Oh, great. We take a look at that and say, oh, Mike Jones of so-and-so pizza is recommended by Anthony. Let's give them a call. Hey, Mike, you have a fan of the century in Anthony Calichone. He went ahead and recommended that we add you on RHINO Street. RHINO Street is the first of its kind localized search engine. The only people that will ever search, get you as a result, are those that are searching within a 20-mile radius, meaning every person that searches is already in your community and they're looking to actively support community. May we go ahead and show you as a search result? In which case, Mike Jones or whatever his name was, you'd be like, yeah, sure, that sounds amazing. Thank you so much for calling. Which means the people that are participating in the search engine are also intricate to growing the search engine in terms of identifying and recommending results. Hey, I know the best slice in town, Mike Smith's Pizza. Let me go ahead and relay that to RHINO. Great. And there's a third way. That individual could say, well, there's no pizza place. I've always wanted to be a pizza shop owner. And Brian, I'm waiting for your question, by the way. Oh, there it is. I've always wanted to be a pizza shop owner. I think I'm going to start a pizza business. Let me go ahead and respond to this form. Hey, my name is Anthony Calichone. I'd like to be this pizza shop owner. This is going to be my URL, like my website address. This is my email address. This is my phone number. Can you go ahead and send me next steps? In which case, when someone fills out that form, they're going to get an automated email that goes back with next steps, how they can then be that search result, which will simply be, okay, once you get to this point, please give our concierge a call, or here's a book a call to go ahead and let us know that this business is operational, and we'll go ahead and work with you to put it on RHINO Street. Meaning, how do we go ahead and populate search results on RHINO Street? A, businesses that want to be found and opt in to being found, to being searched, to being a result to local community. B, people within local community recommending businesses they like. C, people in local community that want to grow that business, which means all three of these people are empowered to be the change that they've always wanted. All three of these people are going to be prominent searchers while also being prominent in building the search results. All three of these people equal exponential growth because maybe this person is going to recommend 10 places in town. Maybe every time we call one of those places, they're going to say, yeah, we're great. Have you called them? Have you called them? Each one person then becomes 3, which becomes 9, which becomes 27. The point is, in building a search engine, you need 2 things: searchers and search results. Our ability to go ahead and grow search results is going to be exponential. And in terms of growing search results, those search results are then have a invested, they're self-invested to the platform. So they're also going to be the searchers. If your business is on RHINO Street and you're a search result on RHINO Street, where do you tell people to search your business? On RHINO Street. If you go ahead and talk to someone that lives down your block, are you going to say, yeah, search for Mike's Pizza on Google? No, you're going to come up with Pizza Hut and Domino's and Sparrow and brrr, or you can get all those pizza companies. So by telling someone, go search my pizza shop on Google, you're wasting a customer because that customer is never going to find you. Oh, search my pizza shop on RHINO Street. Not only is that person going to find you, but that person is now invested in the community. Now that person is going to be someone on the platform that says, let me submit. Oh, I know a better place. The point is the platform grows upon itself because the premise of the platform is actually valuing a population. Because the premise of the platform, and I was doing my taxes and I realized I didn't do it, taxes are done. But I realized after the fact, that we're a non-for-profit. I don't collect money from anyone. We do not take any business. We do not allow people to do ad spend on the platform. You're never, ever in a million, I want to throw this even thinking about it. Never in a million years ever you're going to be able to think, hey, Ant, can I run ads on your platform? In fact, I would take this computer and throw out a window if someone said that to me. Usma. I can't believe how mad that just got me. Like, we are so far opposite from that. Meaning, we don't go ahead and take money from anyone. Meaning, our whole job is to go ahead and empower you. And it's not like we're doing it for charity, right? Like, we're not saying, hey, we're millionaires and we're going to go ahead and just put the millions into you because, hey, we want to do that. No, you're worth something. You have a real value, but your value is hidden within a group, right? Like, you do not hold a significant value by yourself. In fact, and that's rude. Let me rephrase that. Your value by yourself is contingent on the variables of your time available, your competence, your intelligence, and your net worth. When you combine all those, and your attractiveness, right? When you combine all 5 of those things, you can actually calculate a value, and your age. So 6 things, right? You could calculate a value. What is not present in the value of a group is any of those things. The value of a group is simply in population, because what's it called? The truth in numbers, or the law of averages, is that the larger the group is, the more average it is, because what's average? It's everyone divided by how many people are participating, right? So you might have 2 people and one person's worth $1 million and one person's worth $0. And you say the average value, the average net worth of this group is 500,000. And you're like, wow, I can't wait to talk to either one of them. Well, I hope you don't get the one that's worth 0, because they're not helpful in terms of, buying one of your products. The point being, if you have only 2 people, the law of averages doesn't work. As you have a lot of people, the law of averages works very well. Therefore, it does not matter what age you are. It does not matter how your intelligence is. It does not matter your competence. It does not matter your attractiveness. It does not matter any of that. It does not matter your age. It doesn't matter any of that. It doesn't matter your net worth. It matters that you are gathered. And in a group format, you have value, which means by you allowing this group to form on RHINO Street, that value is being directed where? To your main street, which means RHINO Street is the first time that we have the technology to actually empower every single person in the US to go ahead and invest and rebuild their actual main streets. Yeah, I don't need a politician to tell me they're going to do it, then put a whole bunch of pork in a bill. I don't need someone saying the change you can believe it, make America great again, build back better. I don't need it. People could do it themselves. We're not invalids. We're just deprived of ideas because everyone suppresses any type of free thought. And not talking about free thought, you can't go on Google this and this, which you can't. But the education system is absolute garbage in this country because the unions do not allow any kind of performance. And I know what you're saying, Ant, that's a little unfair. How do you go ahead and judge a teacher's performance? Well, that's the challenge, right? I think we could all agree performance matters. Now, how you go ahead and judge a performance is a conversation. So I'm not saying that the argument that teachers should not be judged by traditional performance metrics is invalid. I agree. I don't have the solution. And if you give me an hour, I could probably figure it out. But the way we are currently doing it, yeah, they've been here for 3 years, you can't fire them, is garbage. And those are the people that are educating our children to have the inability to even think of a solution that's as simple as saying, everyone is effing me over. They're making me go into the search engine. Why don't I just make my own? See, I always am a little, well, actually, let me get to Brian's question first. So, Brian, we all know local businesses. Can we help populate RHINO Street by submitting them or Yes, I love Brian. And you know how much I love Brian? He's on our homepage. That's how much I love Brian. Brian, so the answer is yes. Let me get to it because I have some cool stuff still coming, but yes. I ordered jewelry making surprise, 20-mile radius might not be enough. Can searchers change radius? Yes. So as a searcher, when I go on the website, I'm prompted to allow or block my location. By blocking my location, I'm then prompted to put in a zip code. I can put in any zip code I want and search 20 miles of that zip code. So the user has the ability to change location. As it pertains to jewelry making, there are people that say, hey, Ant, my business is kind of like a digital business. 20-mile radius isn't really going to help me. In which case, I've done the thinking on that. And, well, A, I'm not going to change it, right? But B, I do believe if you have a community behind you that are all looking for reasons to support you, the conversion metrics of that community is going to equal probably a month worth of ad spend on Facebook or whatnot. And it's that community that's then going to repurchase. It's that community that's going to share on their social medias and recommend to other people. And also, we're going to have other different ways to go ahead and empower those that do digital businesses. Like, for instance, we have our own email campaigns. We have no problem highlighting somebody and saying, hey, listen, and this RHINO has this business, which really, really is built for a digital, is built for a global launch. So we want to go ahead and share with everyone. So-and-so is one of our most favorite RHINOs. Their product is spectacular. Here's a link to go check out their website. And now all of a sudden you're as global as you want to be. Or, and this is lastly, RHINO will reserve the right to control the #1 search results. And because this platform, the DNA of it is built on empowering Main Street, we will use that as a reward. And we're still figuring out how we're going to do it. Maybe people will pay for that. Oh, Ant, you said you're not doing any ad spend. No, I'm not. I'm not letting people buy anything. But if we're running a charity, which we do every month, and we want to raise money for charity, and for every, say, $1,000 contribution, you're the #1 search result for that day, I like it. Or you have to go on the marketplace and buy 1 million RHINO coin, and you could be the search result that day. Yeah, you want to sell it the next day, knock yourself out, but you have to go ahead and buy it because everyone owns the RHINO, right? So there are ways we're going to work with that, but the simple answer is yes, we do respect digital business. We understand the challenges digital business has in locality, and we're positioned to build out that project. So the answer is yes. Yeah, participation trophies ruined our future. Okay. So that's how RHINO Street works. Now, how are we going to get people to be users of the platform? So, of course, as search results, right? So when we go ahead and do a campaign, hey, would you like to be a search result on this platform? Many people are going to say yes, because in saying yes, there's no outlay. There is nothing for anyone to do to say yes to being a search result, right? And if I'm asking you for free, will you allow me to send your company traffic? Why would you say no? And on top of that, when I go ahead and structure it in such a way that we're allowing the education of who we are to nurture and to build, to be the seeds that build your decision, well, then the person is, wow, this is a really noble project. I would totally want to be on that. Great. Now that person then spreads to other people, hey, I'm on RHINO Street, go check it out. Well, we're also simultaneously running campaigns in parallel to community saying, hey, would you like to go check out RHINO Street? Would you go ahead and participate in this type of platform? We're going to come out with an offer that allows them to participate as well. These things are still being done, and I'm going to get to how imminent they are, right? But I'm sharing this with you in abstract to let you know where we're going. So we're going to have a campaign for both, while also empowering both sides to cross-market, right? The search results want searchers, and the searchers want search results, and they're allowed to recommend each other, friends, family, and we're going to bring those in and build them and do right by all, right? So not all you need to know, that sounds dismissive, but what's important to know is that the growth of A, users, and or B, search results is all already built on a model that is exponential and scalable. Because there is only a finite population in the globe, that as each person then tells three, whatever the degree of separation and the exponential effect of each person is, which of course we're going to know and monitor, we then will know, okay, if every person then brings in 2 people, then we need to do X amount of spend, X amount of campaign, target this, and then by this date, that would have multiplied to scale. What does scale mean? Scale means when you walk down your sidewalk and you say, hey, who uses RHINO Street? And 3 people turn around and say, yeah, I'm on it every day. And then the other people are like, what is that? No, bro, you have to go on it. It's amazing. That's when you get to scale. Facebook got to scale 10 years ago. If you were not on Facebook, you were the outcast, right? And if you did not know Facebook, you lived on planet Mars, right? That scale. So whatever it takes, once we know our initial figures, whatever it takes to get from here to there, we're going to do. So we believe by the end of year, we will be at scale. That's exciting. Now, I also want to share something, right? So we've been doing this together on a daily basis for what, like 3-4 months now. And I've always welcomed everyone in with full transparency to the criticism and or shock of many people, to the surprise. Even my wife was like, Aunt, you're the most transparent person I've ever met. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, you shouldn't tell people how much is in the bank account for RHINO. I go, it's not my money, it's RHINO's money. Everyone owns RHINO. And she goes, I get it, but it's just, she goes, I agree with you. It's just different. I've never seen this before, right? And I go, yeah. The point being, these last 3 months, one could say, well, Aunt, it's been 3 months. I haven't seen anything. Now you're telling me you're going to take over the globe in like 8 months from now. Yeah, because everything that we've done so far was never meant to go ahead and do world domination. It was meant to prepare us to go ahead and do world domination, right? So if you said, Aunt, I want to go dominate the world, how do I do it? I would say I have no freaking clue, right? Like do testing, talk to people, go through the trials and tribulations of hiring, firing, moving people over, doing daily webinars, answering every email, give your text messaging out to people, do Messenger, do WhatsApp, get people from every country, cold email everyone at 10:30, 40, 50,000 people a day, and tell me where you are after 3 months. You would say, oh my God, that sounds like a lot. But after I did that, I'd have a pretty good idea. Yeah, welcome to RHINO. That's where we are right now. Meaning I have the information, we have the technology, we have the advice, we have the structure to understand what needs to happen going forward. So when I say that we're going to be at scale by the end of the year, it's not just like pie in the sky. I know how to get there because everything everyone's done for us all the way through. So what does that mean when we get to scale? So I'm going to walk you through how we get to scale. But first, while we're still on, wow, this platform sounds like it could really be amazing. Let me tell you how everyone actually regains financial freedom. Because you know what? Everyone should have a charitable heart. But, I went to the grocery store the other day and this nice old lady who was bagging my groceries, which I'm always helping, but I can't help through the plastic visor. I don't know who did the science that she can touch my food with her hands, which is immune from COVID, but having this plastic thing between us is going to stop. I don't know. No one really thought of it that much, but she was a really nice older lady. And she goes, oh, I just want to let you know, bags are going to be banned. They're illegal starting May 14th in New Jersey. I go, what are you talking about? She goes, yeah, it just got voted. Bags are now illegal in New Jersey starting May 14th. And I go, you gotta be kidding me. And she goes, but Sonny, we should all be doing something for the environment. I go, listen, well, I didn't say that because she's an older lady. I go, no, I totally appreciate that. And I understand that. But on the list of things that affect the what's it called? Sorry, I just lost. Affects someone help me. Environment. Thank you, Justin. I just lost the word. On the list of things that affect the environment, plastic bags that are recycled are not that high up in. In fact, you know where it's really high up? The profit margins your company no longer has because the president we have has inflation through the roof and the margins for things are too small. Or the fact that they cannot get employees because there's a shortage of labor and the company does not want to spend that much money. So to go ahead and make sure that they're able to make your job easier by not bagging stuff, that's higher on the list for those people. I'm saying I agree with you on what bags do. And I agree with you on the sentiment that we should reduce all things that affect the environment. But for me to pretend that this decision was made at a sacrifice for everyone for the environment, rather than just the sacrifice for us for their pockets, does not go unknown to me. And the point of the story is, that's RHINO Street. Just because we're having a moment where everyone's understanding I can be better and I could be the change that makes the world better, does not mean you should go ahead and be a martyr. It does not mean you should die poor. It does not mean you should give away all your earthly belongings in the pursuit of making a better future that you never get to participate in. In fact, I go to church every Sunday with my wife, and the pastor always says, we had 800 and then COVID happened and we have less, but it's gaining more steam every week. And what he doesn't like is that people are churchgoers on Sunday, but then Monday through Saturday, they're like, they're devil worshipers. And he didn't say those words, but if you go to church on Sunday, but you go out clubbing Friday and Saturday and cheat on your family, church is not meant to be the task you must do to go to heaven. It's meant to be the place that centers you for the week, right? And people should go to church more than just Sunday, right? But the point of the story being, I don't even know where that story came from, to be honest, because I forgot where I'm going with this. But RHINO is not meant to be, okay, you know what, now, sacrifice everything and live knowing that you did good for someone else. No. So being part of RHINO is actually going to go ahead and restore financial freedom to all of Main Street. And it goes so much further than being customers at Main Street businesses, right? So obviously, if RHINO Street, or not if, but when RHINO Street is super successful and it hits scale and everyone knows RHINO Street, at that moment in time, all right, well, Main Street businesses are thriving. Okay, they're hiring more people within the community, so the community is uplifted. Everyone has good paying jobs. Everyone has the ability to run their own businesses. Everyone knows the local politicians and the mayor because years and years of this community reorganizing and refocusing and reinvesting in themselves grows a culture that politicians are not getting voted because they have ads telling you that the other one's a bad person. They're getting voted because there's reasons to vote them, not reasons to not vote the other person. That's a difference, right? Yes, that will change lives, but does that change your life today? And it does kind of, right? Like if RHINO Street was super popular today, well, then the commerce is real. So it does have the ability to be immediate. But I want something more. I want something for everyone to become millionaires. I just do. So I think there's enough, right? So like when you take a look at Jeff Bezos, right? Like he's worth like $1.5 trillion or something. There's 300 million people in this country. So 1.5 trillion divided by 300 people, I think it's like 5,000 or 50,000 or 500,000. That's a lot. So it's 5,000, which means, no, it's 50,000, which means Jeff Bezos could give everyone in this nation $50,000. Like, what would that do for people's lives? And I'm not saying he should do it. I'm saying the profits he's made is on the backs of siphoning Main Street. For instance, you want to go ahead and buy a t-shirt. You want to go buy anything. Oh, yeah, I go to Amazon for everything. That's the problem. If you had something within your own community that you could just go around the street and find it, you wouldn't need an Amazon. And no one's saying don't go on Amazon, but Amazon shouldn't be your first thing. The sales Amazon makes is at the actual expense of competition. What's the competition? Main Street businesses. So if you agree with me and say, well, Ant, this actually sounds really good. I could see, Ant, I think you as the founder, your optimism is super duper duper. I think you think this is going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. And I'm just not there with you. I don't think it's going to be like the #1 company in the world. That being said, I do think there'll be a place for you and I do think you'll be successful. Okay, let's go with that, right? Like you're wrong, but let's go with it. So what's success mean, right? So let's say the search engine market is 100%, which duh, it's 100%. Google is 90% of it and the other search engines are 10%. So what if Google became 80%, then we were 10% and the other search engines were 10%? Well, the global search market is 10 billion searches a day. So if we were 10%, we'd have 1 billion searches a day. If we have 1 billion searches a day of all of people searching their own communities, then how much transactions would happen? Let's say 10% ends in a transaction, right? So 1 billion searches, you have 100 million transactions done every day because of RHINO Street. All right, so let's say, what's the average transaction size? I don't know, let's $10, right? It's probably more, but let's say $10. So $10 times 100 million is $1 billion. $1 billion a day is transacting because of RHINO Street. Okay, that's what the numbers line up for. So how do we go ahead and capture the value of that $1 billion transacted? Do we charge the search results fees? Do we say to be a search result on RHINO Street, it's a $10 membership? Do we, every time a transaction happens, take a 10% commission? Do we, I don't know. I know the answers to those things are no, I'm not taking money from anyone. I refuse to. Well, let's think of something. So they're transacting. Oh, okay. So they're transacting. What are they transacting in? Dollars or euros or whatever. Okay. So who benefits from that? Like, who owns the currency? Well, the government owns the currency. Okay, so they benefit. Do any of the parties own the currency? No, they own it because it goes in their bank account, but no. So what we're saying is that currency is kind of like an opportunity. Yeah, I guess so. What are you going to do? Have people buy and sell things in shells? No. You're going to have them buy and sell things in RHINO coin. Well, people don't own RHINO coin. It's not like people have RHINO coin in their pocket. No. But what if, and by the way, it's not going to be called RHINO coin. I've always said RHINO coin, and I know there's a RHINO coin that exists. What it's really going to be, I've never said out loud because I don't want anyone buying the domain, which, by the way, I own the domains. But if I could tell you, I go on GoDaddy and I see how many people already bought the things I've talked about. And that's not a bad thing, right? Like, I think it's a little, I don't even want, it is what it is. And that's on me, right? Should I have bought them all first? No, I want everyone to make money. So the things that are important to me, I already own the domains. But do I want to go ahead and say it out loud and have people find ways to take it from me? No. So let's say we have a RHINO coin. And let's say the RHINO coin gets transacted. Well, Ann, I already told you, people don't have RHINO coin. No. What if we built a transaction system that people were allowed to buy, as they were, frictionless? All right, I want to buy 100,000 shirts. Here's my debit card number, whatever you do online, $100 goes to the company. Great, the business. Now the business collects the $100. Now, what if the business in collecting that $100, immediately that $100 was then used to purchase $100 worth of RHINO coin on the free market, because RHINO coin will be registered by then. So Coinbase, Binance, Bitfinex, all of them, right? Okay, well, all right, so let's say that happens. So the value of the coin goes up a lot because $100 just went to buying the coin. $100 buying, because when you buy something, it goes up, and when you sell something, it goes down. All right, I see where you're going with this. But the person, what if they want to sell it afterwards? They don't want $100 in RHINO. Well, they can sell it. What do you mean? They could just sell it? Well, that seems clunky. Why are they buying it to sell it? Well, actually, it's not, because the system we're building is going to allow them to redeem the coin immediately. So they can go ahead and put in the options. I want to redeem 100% of my RHINO coin immediately after sale. Okay, so they'll never actually collect $100 in it. No, they won't, because that buying and selling, not that there's transaction fees, but you're doing a market price, right? So the price of Bitcoin, the price of RHINO coin to purchase might be higher than the price of RHINO coin to sell, because there's a spread, right? So say the coin is $10.11 to buy, or to $10.13 to buy, but $10.11 to sell. That's how buying and selling works. And that market is completely dependent on the participants. So the more people you have in it, the lower that spread is, right? And you would know this with Bitcoin and all the rest, right? Okay, so the person, by using this platform, will get a ton of sales, because this platform is going to help their business, but they'll probably lose 1 or 2 or even 3% in this transactions, the market. Yeah, probably in the short term. So do you think people are going to do that? Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. They're getting a whole bunch of new sales. We're not taking the money. The amount that they're going to have to sacrifice is simply just in transactions. I can't control that. I could bring as many people as possible, and that spread will be very, very short. Okay, cool. So what if they want to sell all 100%? Well, they will. Well, Ant, you said if they buy $100 worth, it goes up, and if they sell $100 worth, it goes down. Yes, but the price of something is dependent on more than just buys or sells. Yeah, yes, it will, Justin. It's dependent on more just buys and sells. It's also dependent on volume. Like anyone that's ever participated in crypto knows, when there's only 5 or 10 people trading it, you could have a pump and dump. You could have really, really large spikes. But when you have a whole bunch of people in a market, say like Apple, right? How many people own stock of Apple? You don't have those wild spikes because the volatility is decreased because you have all these participants. Meaning a market that has a lot of participants is valued higher because it has less volatility, right? So if you go ahead and I say, hey, do you want to buy Bitcoin with your life savings, or do you want to buy blah 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 coin with your life savings? You don't even need to ask me what blah 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 coin does. You are going to buy Bitcoin because you could trust that its volatility is low, right? So you understand that. So Ann, you're telling me that simply by the volume of transactions, buying and selling on such a regular basis, that the value of the coin is going to go up? Yes. So what if somebody only chooses to redeem 90%? They want to keep 10% of the coin because I see it going up every day. Well, that's where it gets really good. Because when we get to the point that actual businesses are holding our coin as investment, that they're holding it as a line item on their balance sheets, well, now you're taking that supply out the market, which means the supply that's left in the market is less, which means if you have more buyers than sellers, if you have more demand than supply, it just keeps going up. Wait a second, Ann. Well, time out. So you're telling me that you believe $1 billion could be purchased of this RHINO coin every single day, and because the volume, it's constantly going to go up because it's safe and investable because it has low volatility. It captures the full value of this platform. Therefore, the value of small business, the value of Main Street thriving is completely captured in this coin. So if I believe in the growth of Main Street, then this coin moves up. And and then people are also going to be holding it, which means there'll be less supply, but the same amount of buyers, if not more buyers every day. What am I missing? Nothing. So you're telling me the success of Main Street simply just thriving amongst their own community can turn this coin from whatever it is today to be the most amazing, best performing investable asset that truly, truly captures the value of small business and the 99%. And that's what we've created here. Yes. But wait, how'd you create that? You're not taking any money from anyone. Like I said from the beginning, people have value. I'm simply identifying a way that liberates, frees, and empowers everyone to be that power. Welcome to RHINO Street. That's what we're doing. So if anyone asks me, Ann, well, can you manage the price of the coin? Like, how do you know the value of the coin? Because I know what we're doing. And I'll show you the balance sheet. I already know it's 305. I'm probably going to go to 330. I know, I'll show you the balance. I'll show you all of this stuff. This is what we're doing. So let me actually, so I have some notes on my board because I want to kind of stay within an hour. Look how well I'm doing, right? So let me tell you the things that are going forward. So we have officially hired, well, Abigail has since left us. Not left us, that sounds weird. We've since parted ways and she's following her dream and we love her. In her place, we hired 3 new team members. Steve, Ralph, John. These are 3 amazing developers. And when I say amazing, this isn't like Donald Trump hyperbole. I interviewed over 17. I've seen their work, I've seen their resume. And they're expensive, right? Like they're not like $10 an hour employees. Like together, they equal a very, very large number. The point being, I know their abilities. I know what we're doing with them. So what we have going right now, Ralph will be fully in charge of our UI experience, our front end. So Ralph will be fully in charge of building RHINO Street. What does the actual site look like? Coding out all the pages. What's the functionality? What's the bells and whistles? What's it look like? What's everything, right? Like when you go to RHINO Street, what do you see? What can you do? That's Ralph. Steve is twofold. He is not going to be, they all collaborate, right? But his universe and Ralph's universe are different. His universe is our mobile app and our payment system. Yeah, Brian, I love you. His universe is the mobile app and the payment system. Now the mobile app is going to allow, get this, it's going to allow you to sign up. It's going to allow you to build your own profile. It's going to allow you to participate in different groups. It's going to allow you to follow each other, to DM each other. It's going to allow you to join all of our live events. It's going to inform you of the calendar of things that we have going on. It's going to offer you all of our different tutorials and how-tos. It's going to offer you partnership access where you could use your app as an affiliate to either send out or let someone scan your QR code. And it's also going to allow you to manage your business. Your business is going to be on RHINO Street. If you don't have one, you're able to recommend someone. If you want to make one, you're able to do it. That's going to be linked to our SBA tutorials, which V had done an amazing job doing it 4 weeks in a row this month, which we're going to edit it down, make it one nice, beautiful module. It's going to send you to there, in which case it's then going to send you to our back office to work with you hand in hand in making what your dream is and making it come true. All of which is going to prompt you and push you and nudge you to creating a business or suggesting a business so that could go on RHINO Street, which then populates the results. And then lastly, oh, and of course there's going to be search on it, duh. And then lastly, it's going to offer you your payment system, which means you're going to be able to track your RHINO coin, trade your RHINO coin, send your RHINO coin, and withdraw your RHINO coin, right? So there'll be a whole payment system associated with it. That's going to be the RHINO mobile app. We already hired someone that's going to make that. Then, like I said, the payment system is going to be software that's going to be uploaded to your business, to your merchant accounts. In which case, it's going to allow you to collect money, and then the payment system itself is going to automate the purchase of the coin while allowing you to preset what coin you want to sell, what percentage, and what coin you want to keep, all of which you're going to be able to do at your free volition, any moment, any day, anytime. Now, I can't force people on RHINO to put this on. Like I cannot go on anyone's website and say, hey, listen, you're on RHINO Street. How dare you not have this? You better put this in your payment system. But think about how this is all built. Everyone owns RHINO coin because we give everyone 50 RHINO coin every single month. Everyone that's participating on RHINO Street has the same culture. We're all helping each other out. Therefore, the business that decides to be on RHINO Street and not go ahead and actually allow the RHINO coin transaction is, there's words for those people. I'm not going to say them out loud because they're really mean. But I just don't think that's going to be the case. I think if you get to the point that you're on RHINO Street and you're participating and you're on the mobile app, I just think I think that'll be the case too. But what's really cool about that, and we do have plan Bs, of course, A, we're never going to force anyone, right? Like if you don't want to put it in, don't do it. I'm not here to force anyone to do anything. I am bringing you to the well and I'm asking you to drink, right? But when we go ahead and value the coin, and when it's a free market, we can't value it. The market values it. But it's our coin, which means everything I say is going to mean something to the coin. If I do a live one day and say, hey, listen, I just found someone that wants to buy 10 billion of coin, they're buying it tomorrow. Do you know what would happen to the coin? It would fly because everyone would know someone's buying it. Meaning I'm going to have a lot of rules and regulations we're going to have to follow because the coin's going to be a secure, or I don't want to say security. It's going to be a trading asset and there's just going to be rules. Like I would never go ahead and manipulate a coin, right? Like let's get that out of the way. But the words I'm going to say are going to be meaningful. Point being, what I'm trying to get to is I'll be able to say, yes, we have 1 million businesses on RHINO Street and only 700,000 have the merchant account, have the RHINO Street payment platform. More and more are joining, more and more are uploading the software every single day. The point being, as an investor, or as someone that owns a coin, you're going to say, wow, it does so well. Look at the volume of it. Look how many people are buying it every day. This only is 70% of the people they have and more are doing it every day. That means the future is better than today. I want to buy more or I want to hold it. And when people hold the coin, that's less supply that's on the market. So there's only 1 billion coin. Everyone knows this. But let's say 500 million is held because people want to hold on to it. That means there's only 500,000 left, which means when the buys come in, which they come in every day because all the transactions are buying the coin, there's less coins to buy from, which means the price of the coin keeps going higher and higher and higher. I'm not kidding when I say that I believe that this coin could get to $1 million a coin within 5 years. What's it today? 4 cents, right? So, yeah. Are there any plans of subscription options for readers-based businesses? So every business that's on the platform is able to have any, like, it's your products, it's your services, you sell it any way you want. Well, there are plans for social. So I know Anthony's business quite well. He actually writes really flattering and honest articles of us every single week that we put in our emails. And I believe the business he wants to get into is some type of subscription model. Hey, for $1 a month, you could read, my content. You're able to make any offer you want to any person. RHINO is not in charge of how you make money. As long as it's legal and ethical, we support you. And actually we think there's a lot of content creators that, because RHINO Street is such a large ecosystem, they could say, hey, to be a part of my business, 1 RHINO coin a month, or 50 cents a month, or whatever. But because so many people will be engaged in it, and because the coin is going to go up, think about it. You could actually make a subscription model that charges people coin. And you could be collecting the coin because you believe the coin's going to go up. So it allows you to charge someone a low fee while investing in your future to have a high amount down the road. So that's what we're doing here. So I want to share that. Oh, cool. Awesome, man. So I want to go ahead and share that. That's the business plan, right? So let me go ahead and do share screen and show you some cool stuff. Okay. So that was the commercial I showed you. All right, so let's go to RHINO Street. All right, so I made a video for Learn How RHINO Street Works. I'm gonna play it. I believe it's 2 minutes and 47 seconds. The point being, this is what RHINO Street looks like. So when people come to RHINO Street, they're gonna say, I don't know what RHINO Street is. Like, what is this? Like Justin or Anthony or Frida or whoever, they're gonna say, hey, listen, go to RHINO Street. And the person's gonna get to them big, I don't know what this is. So let's learn how RHINO Street works. Welcome to RHINO Street. What we are all doing together really matters. And it's also so super exciting. RHINO Street is one simple idea that our searches are worth trillions, and it's finally time we stop just giving them away to Wall Street. All the search engines we use are all for-profit Wall Street companies. Meaning when you search for anything, is that search engine will create your results. And because that search engine is for profit, your search results are just kind of like a list of their paying customers. You see, we are not their customer. We are their products. We are the searches they then sell to their paying customers for those paying customers to then turn us into their sales. Those search engines are really great for the big stuff, right? Like if you want to search song lyrics or a top-notch chicken pot pie recipe or the newest movie releases. Everyone enjoys such a great experience. For businesses though, the only people who enjoy that same really great experience are those companies large enough to afford being a paying customer. For them, they're assured anytime anyone searches for anything, they alone will stand to benefit. Meaning for any local business or startups who are enduring those first couple of years of struggle, this becomes a fatal blow to them. The local searches that surely would have become their sales are purchased by the big corporations who then undercut the family shops we all knew as kids. It's just really not okay. RHINO Street is a non-profit, everyone owns its search engine. RHINO Street results are only local businesses within 20 miles of you. RHINO Street results disqualify all Wall Street owned companies. RHINO Street results are made up of individuals who personally have opted in. And the coolest part, it's all of us who build RHINO Street together. Like say you search a pizza spot and there isn't a pizza spot on RHINO Street, but you know the greatest slice in town, you can then recommend them to become a search result. Well, then simply call them for their permission and boom, they're now listed. RHINO Street empowers you to build the most thriving Main Street. For the first time ever, we have the technology to create choice for all of us to either continue giving our search results to Wall Street or reinvest within our own individual communities, one search at a time. You see, because searches lead to sales, it is those searches that is all that is needed for all of us to be responsible for achieving the grandest Main Street renaissance ever. You are already a superhero to your family, and many more. Now it's time for you to be a superhero to your entire community. Welcome to RHINO Street. Bye. All right, so that was the welcome video. So when people come to Rhino Street, that's how they understand what it is we're doing. Now, become a search result. I need to fix this, so I don't want to show it just yet. Up here is Rhino, so it's very clear this is the about section, like who's Rhino. Now this goes to distributivemarketing.com, but this is all going to be redone. We're keeping the pictures, we're keeping all of this, right? But it's going to be custom coded for rhinostreet.com. So the flow will all be the same. Oh, I can't wait to show you charity. I want to show you partner real quick. So obviously you get your link, copy the link, you give it to people, and then what is it that they see? So you're invited, accept your invite here, and this is what you get rewarded for. The person puts in their email, they subscribe, that gets counted as a lead, and that's what we go ahead and pay out on. But this is the partner video. So when you send traffic to that, this is their landing page, and let's watch this video.
Welcome. We are all truly grateful that you're here with us today. And thank you for offering us the next couple of minutes of your time. You see, Rhino is a very simple concept. That the true power of people is in the unified population with passion, not individual bank accounts. There's never been a profitable company without a customer. There's never been an elected official without a vote. But the top 1% is living like kings while the rest of us live as their servants. And I think the public has forgotten how much power we all actually possess. If you would allow me 3 questions of you, nothing complicated, I promise you. Do you prefer to support your own Main Street businesses over that of Wall Street companies? And if so, how do you actually search for these Main Street businesses of yours? You see, many people that answer that question, yeah, and I go on Google and I type in local business plus zip code. And that sounds like the correct answer. But here's where that giant light bulb moment is. And if you could allow me to rephrase that answer back to you, I think you'll see it as well. Many believe that searching a for-profit Wall Street-owned search engine is going to list their local Main Street businesses for free, ahead of that for-profit search engine's paying customers. You see, Wall Street gives you this free search engine, but it's not really free. You are the product. You are the sales they then sell to their paying customers. Because this is such an unlimited moneymaker for every one of those search engines, none of us has an actual honest option to search our own Main Streets. Until now, until Rhino Street. We have built the world's first Main Street search engine, and we've accomplished this by engineering using 3 key rules. 1, we have disqualified all Wall Street companies from our search results. 2, a user's search results will be immediate 20 miles from their location. And 3, we welcome every single person, business owner or not, to become a search result by either granting us permission to list their business or accepting their recommendations of a Main Street business they happen to love. In which case, we then just simply call that business for their permission. We have learned that this Rhino Street offering is a very powerful recipe for everyone to buffet. You see, within a year's time, we will be the building blocks of the greatest Main Street renaissance ever. And if instead of starting with a Wall Street's own search engine, people simply started with Rhino Street, people would automatically be reinvesting in everyone's own community rather than having their money vacuumed from their own community. We could all be our own community superheroes by simply searching Rhino Street first. In January 2023, we will be introducing our own payment system with our own coin. Meaning when a business sells a product, it will collect the money and it will automatically be converted into our coin. That business owner can then easily convert it back to cash. The unlimited value being that coin will capture the lifetime growth of Rhino Street, since every single sale is also a buy for the coin. Meaning our coin's value will calculate every Main Street business that recognizes Rhino Street to be a good idea. Not only today, but forever. Below, you will see an opt-in to Rhino. For doing so, your very good friend who invited you will be rewarded 10 coins. And you'll be given 50 coins every month until the total supply of 1 billion runs out. It's important you know, no one should ever own our population. And for the first time ever, we have the technology to capture the total value of our population and then simply distribute it back to everyone in our population, like Robin Hood. You matter to all of us, and we need you. Thank you for giving us this time of yours. We all owe you. Click below and allow us to repay. Bye.
So that would be the video that everyone sees as you work on your own affiliate programs. And I think it kind of captures everything, and I'm quite pleased with it. Let's see, I wanted to, so actually I'll send it out in the email tomorrow to remind everyone it's the last day to purchase coin. So I don't want to walk through that right now. But what I do want to show you, which is so cool. So you know we do charity every single month. And this month we've had 1,000,001 things going on. So we haven't really pushed it. And that's not to the fault of anyone other than myself, because Rhino Host has been taking care of the SBA educational side. And I've been taking care of building up all of the other pillars to allow us to get to the next level. And we've kind of allowed charity to kind of fall at the wayside, which is not something we're going to allow. That being said, I also spent this month building and designing new Rhino wear that's commensurate with Rhino Street. I cannot tell you how excited I am. So for today and tomorrow, we're going to match all charity. And I'm going to put that in the email for tomorrow as well. And we're also going to match it with coin. So whatever you purchase, we're going to credit you with that amount of money in coin, and we're going to match that amount in charity. So we're going to kind of pour some gasoline on our charity amount. So I want to show you, oh my God, I want to show you the new products. And Tanj, I know you're watching. If you could go ahead and buy me some stuff, I'd really like that too. And I'll credit you with the coin. All right, cool. So check this out. So this is the charity, and I gotta be honest with you. So this charity was near and dear to Abigail. And since we hadn't raised any money for them yet, I don't know who they are. I'm kind of a little reluctant to. In fact, I got you, yeah. So there's a school in Jersey, Lakehurst Elementary, and they're raising just $850 for their basketball program, right? So the girls' basketball team to buy like shirts and shorts and stuff. And they sent me a flyer. So I went ahead and gave them $100. And they have like 650 left because I guess the town is kind of hard on money. So between everyone else, they got like $200. So I kind of want to just, between you and I, I'm going to do the rest anyway. But I want it to be part of Rhino. I want all of us to do it together. So that's the charity that's going for this. And I'll make sure that I have one of them say thank you, in which case we'll have that up next week. So let me show you the stuff. Oh, so exciting. Okay. First, I'm going to go through each shirt because they're that great. Look at this thing. That looks like Armani. $15. Look how cool that is for summer coming up, right? Rhino Street, how cool. How freaking cool. Our Main Street matters, Rhino Street. Oh, so cool. Got the hoodie with the Rhino. This is the newer Rhino for Rhino Street. Look at this. How cool. Now, these hoodies are my favorite because they actually, well, this shirt. Oh, down. Okay, fine. Because they actually have a message on it. So check out these people, right? They're both really good looking. Search equals sales equals investment. Our Main Street equals family. Search families first, rhinostreet.com. Like, are you kidding me? That is so cool. Tanj, I want that. Cool, right? So that's that. We're still up here. This is a black shirt with the Rhino. We have a polo shirt for all of our golfing enthusiasts out there. Right? Nice, sleek, take it to a business meeting. I tell Tanj, my wife, that I just want a wardrobe of only Rhino clothing, and I think I'm going to. All right, so check this out. So that's the Come on, man, what just happened? Okay, here we go. Because I choose our Main Street over their Wall Street, rhinostreet.com. Ah! How cool is that? So another thing, we're gonna just, obviously really hope or use the clothing for charity, in which case the more popular we get, the more people will wear the clothing, they see Rhino Street, they go to the site, blah, blah, blah. But when we go to different towns and stuff, I wanna just be giving this stuff away too. Search equals sales, we were just there. Right, where am I? Because this is search equals sales, it's the white one. Do I have a back on this? RHINOstreet.com, our Main Street matters. Ah, so cool. Yeah, right? It's a Armand. Now check this out. We got a bomber jacket. Like, are you kidding me? How freaking cool is that? Tange, I want this too. And I want this exact outfit. I'm wearing a white t-shirt with blue jeans and this jacket anywhere I go for the rest of my life. And I'm doing this pose and then this pose. Tange, when I get home tonight, what's up? Sorry, I know I'm talking to a lot of people too. So you got the backpack and you got our Rhino stuff. Load more. Yeah, Justin's laughing. So we still have all the other stuff, and we're going to consolidate this to maybe like 16 products, like 4 rows of 4, or maybe 20 products. Right now, we want to see what people like. So we're doing it with all of these for today and tomorrow. And then next month, we'll consolidate it down. And we're going to continue making new designs and new products. My goal that I said to Abigail was, I want people to not even know who Rhino is, but see someone wearing a Rhino shirt and say, that just looks cool, I need to get one. That's the goal. She goes, so basically you want to make a clothing line. I said, yeah, why not? So that is the charity. And let me just put this in the chat so everyone has it. So please go help yourself. It's going to a good cause. And I think you'll be really excited to see these little girls say thank you. It's just, it'll warm your heart. I know it'll warm mine. Tomorrow's email, I'll write more about the coin, because tomorrow's the last day to get it before it goes up 25%. It's currently 4 cents. It will go to 5. For those that are interested in doing that right now, let me just give that to you. But like always, in fact, one of our main supporters who's going to be watching this later, I don't want to say her name, but she knows who I'm talking to, was asking, well, I did the math and only X amount of people have bought the coin, but you have it out of X amount of people. Why am I saying X? 180 out of 800. And she goes, why is that? And I said, well, because she looked at it as that's not a good thing. That's not a good indication of only that many people. And I said to her, I go, between you and I, which is now between me and 500 people, our coin right now is 4 cents. It was previously 3 cents and 2 cents and 1.5. By the end of this year, it's going to be 13 cents. By next year, it's going to be in the tens and the hundreds. By the year, that's going to be in the thousands. I, maybe a little selfishly, but selfishly on behalf of Rhino, would like to go ahead and have people purchase it when the price is higher. So I do understand that if every day I spoke about the coin, people would buy every day. Not because people do what they're told, right? But it's because if I go ahead and share the awareness with everyone so regularly, people might just do it out of, okay, he talks about it every day, I guess I should do this. I don't want that. I don't want to pressure anyone. I'm not forced, none of that. People that know about the coin know about it, and people that don't know about it get taught about it. Like every time, once a week, once every other week, I share about it. But if you asked me today, Ant, would you rather 1 million people buy it at 4 cents or 1 million people buy it at 13 cents? There is an obvious answer. So I know she's going to see this later. So to that question, I don't push it for many reasons, but one is, as a steward of Rhino, I need to be responsible for the income that comes in that builds Rhino, and that income is higher when the coin is higher. So me not talking about it is not me saying don't get it. It's me actually kind of saying don't press the red button, which of course now everyone's going to buy it, which is cool. Like you're welcome to do it, but that's why I don't talk about it. I think that's everything I wanted to get to. So tomorrow's email is going to be really nudging for the coin, really nudging for charity. Please share with anyone you can. Charity, not coin. The coin's going to sell out anyway, but charity is important to us. And I think that's all we have for today. So I'm going to upload this over to the YouTube. I will go ahead and put this in our email for tomorrow as well. Let me stop the share so everyone can see my face, whether you want to or not. I think I have one Q&A somewhere. Ann asked me about the billionaire tax cut. It's actually quite funny. If you look at that bill, it's for everyone with 100 million and over, which is not billionaires, which means on the surface, it's already lying to you. So I have very little faith for anything Congress does. Do you know actually the only bill that went through this year with unanimous support was a 21% increase to congressional salary? Oh, yeah, they do their own budget, right? Congress votes budget. Oh, yeah, their salary is part of the budget. Oh, yeah, Congress actually votes for their own salary. Do you believe that things are going so well that they deserve a 21% increase? Oh, you are wondering why they don't care about inflation? Because their salary inflation is 21%, while consumer price inflation is 9%, which means they just made 12% year over year, while you lost 9%. Should I tell you the words I associate them with? Bought you lots of goodies. So tomorrow, look at the ledger. Tanja's gonna have a bunch of RHINO coin. Car decals and bumper stickers with e-com and oh my God, amazing idea. Bumper stickers. Yeah, so that'll be, so I'll tell you this. So because Abigail moved on, she was the one that did all the design. I've never actually logged into the site to do the design or how to do it, but we have a full team. So my point is that will be done, but usually it would have been done in a week's time, if that, because I would just say to Abigail, this time it's probably going to take the month because I need to organize stuff, but it will be done and I love the idea. Mugs, do we have mugs? Because everyone has said mugs. I've told Abigail mugs. It's not like I can exactly fire her, so I guess she wins that one. Yes, we'll have mugs. I just wrote it down. All right, love everyone. Good show. Oh, thank you, Angus. Love you, everyone. Go give V some love. RHINO host, stop by tomorrow. Tell her you absolutely adore her. Also, Friday's meeting is moving from 12 o'clock to 10:30 because we all share the same Zoom. And I have a team meeting with all the new developers that have come on. So V was nice enough to allow me to move it to 10:30. So 10:30 Friday. All right, love everyone. Bye, guys.